It's Adam Gorney from Rivals here with Maryland coach Mike Locksley, who had a busy morning, very productive. Mike, how happy are you with the way things turned out, and how long were these things in motion? Because for some of these guys, they had just really committed.
Yeah, obviously, anytime we're able to improve our team and in recruiting, that's the goal, is to find a way to improve your team. And we feel like we've done that with this class. I can tell you I'm operating off of very little sleep, because this wasn't something that was planned. This wasn't as if we, had it under our hat that we'd get some of these guys to jump on board. But our staff, recruiting staff and coaches did a tremendous job of just continuing to be diligent and getting the information to the parents. And, we were able to close on some guys that, looked kind of bleak earlier in the week. And, we finished strong, which to me is really, really important in the recruiting process, to finish strong.
We obviously want to talk about Jayshawn Barham, and, you could tell the story probably better than anybody, but we had heard that, he was really Maryland, then it was another school, then he wasn't sure about what he wanted to do, and he signs with you guys. How did that kind of all come together? Because, like you said, this didn't look like it was going to happen, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, every recruiting process is fairly unique in itself, and Jayshawn was one. I know, being involved along with Coach Brooks and Coach Evans, who both the recruiting coach and the position coach have all been heavily involved. And he's one of those guys that didn't really like the recruiting process. It's not like he was a guy that was, all over the internet. You knew what he was thinking. I never ever really got a good feel as to what he was going to do. And he's one of those guys that played it really close to the vest. And I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't shocked when I saw him pick up a South Carolina shirt on Saturday. But it didn't surprise me, because I never felt, or no one I'm sure ever felt, knew whether or not they were going to get him. And so once he did pick it up, it's like we say, I mean, that's when the target is on that team. And, we did everything we could to show him what Maryland had to offer, the benefits of staying close to home, being able to play in close proximity to his mom, his dad, his family. And our coaches just really stayed on him throughout the last couple of days. But a lot of it ultimately came down to him and maybe his comfort level with going so far away from home. And I can tell you, it was in the wee hours of last night and even until this morning, until I woke up and FaceTimed him, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I'm doing it." And I was like, "Well, we'll see." And it was pretty nice to get that email through there.
Another guy that you really worked on late here is offensive lineman Andre Roy. How important was that one? And were you kind of confident down the stretch, or was that another one that was really kind of surprising you?
No, I mean, again, would not be telling the truth if I ever told you I was confident on any of these. I mean, I've had closes in the last few years where I kind of knew that we would close, but these were, like I said, last minute decisions by these kids, and it weighed very heavily. I mean, this recruiting process, at least with these two, seemed to go back and forth. I know with Dre, it was 3 schools, and again, I think it helped. Knowing that a couple of his teammates were here, former teammates up front. It helped maybe knowing that there was a chance that Jayshawn may be coming. But I think ultimately they both made the individual decision that they wanted to stay home and help build this program. And, for us to take the next step as a program, it starts with being able to solidify the walls around this DMV area and try to do our best to get the right top players in this area. It's always about getting the right fit, the right players, and not necessarily getting every player.
Yeah, other guys that essentially were committed to other schools and ended up at Maryland: Ramon Brown, Octavian Smith. You've also dipped into Florida for some guys, and that has been obviously fertile recruiting territory for everybody. You've had luck down there. How important is it to, yes, close off the DMV, keep Maryland kids home, but also dip in there for some guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got natural ties in those areas, as I've said before, with Brian Williams, who's played down in the Miami area, played college ball up in Tallahassee there. Brawley Evans goes down into the Tampa region. Mike Miller spent time in the Palm Beach area. So we've got guys that have some natural relationships in those areas, which allow us to be able to dip down. But ultimately, you know, the nucleus of our class will be a 3 to 4 hour radius of our campus. And then we'll go down to where the, you know, players are, which to me, Florida, Texas, you know, even California. We've got a guy out of California a couple of years ago. So, you know, we've got to recruit the fertile areas, but we do know that we've got to get the brunt of our talent for our team. We don't have to go very far. And if we do a great job of taking care of our own backyard first, and then before we go cutting our neighbors' yards, that we'll have a pretty good chance to continue to grow this Maryland brand.
That's great. Maryland coach Mike Locksley, thanks for joining us today on Rivals.
Thank you.
All right.